friends call me Bang Bang. And this is a series that is going to be a lot more serious than what you're used to seeing. I'm going to call this Big Sister Stuff because this is the stuff that's important to me because it's important to you, and I wish that I had had someone close to talk to about these kinds of things, or wish I had opened up more to talk about these kinds of things when I was younger. Sorry, I'm stumbling because it's hard for me to be vulnerable. Today we're going to talk about body positivity, and this one is really tough for me because this is something that I have always struggled with for my entire life. I was what they call a husky kid and was brutally bullied for most of my life. I was bullied really bad up until into college, and it had a huge effect on me. I had a brutal eating disorder for years of my life, which I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want to glorify it. I had a lot of medical issues in my late teens and early 20s because I didn't let my body naturally develop on its own. It caused hormone issues in my body because your hormones are directly correlated with everything else growing and changing inside of you. And I hurt everyone around me that loved me. I didn't realize how selfish it was, this manner of thinking, well, it's my body and who is this hurting but me? I don't tell you my most vulnerable truths and these things that we're going to talk about because I want to glorify them or poor me or anything, but because I know firsthand that telling yourself you're fat and ugly isn't a phase you're going through. It is a bad habit that you're developing, and one that will stick with you, and as an adult you'll have to fight against. So I'm really excited to talk to you about it, but also very nervous. So all I can do is tell you that I still struggle with this as well. It's not going to be one of these things where I tell you, do this and this and this, and you're going to be fine, because I never think about my body and that it might look bad. That is not true. This is something I still struggle with as well. And so I'm just going to tell you the things that I do to make sure that I am not an inner bully to myself. Number one, stop comparing yourself to other people. You can't be them. I'm very sorry. That's the brutal truth. You are you, and that's it. So you gotta learn how to be able to notice beauty without envying it, or you're gonna breed some really ugly insecurity in yourself and in your friends. 80% of our body type is regulated by genetics. That's just science. The other 20% is up to us. Also, no one told me this, but between 16, like maybe even 14 and 28, your body is going to change at least 3 times. Your hormones go crazy, you might gain weight, you might lose weight, but you're going to change. And that is a natural part of life. So to hate on yourself so young and try to be changing everything right now is kind of crazy, because it's going to change anyway. Your body is your body, and it's going to develop as it should. I read a lot in your messages that you feel social media has perpetuated an ideal body image for you these days, and you're right, it definitely has. But this has been going on long before social media. My general way of thinking is the ideal body type is regulated by what people can sell you, right? So if skinny is in, it's only because on every magazine cover that you see, it's some skinny lady wearing underpants or a dress, and we buy it. We go out and think, well, it looks good on her, so I'm gonna get it. And guess what that does? That says to the campaign people, well, we got to keep using skinny folks. So I think the quicker that we stop comparing ourselves to others and notice beauty without being able to envy it, that's the first step. For me, anyway, that was the first step to being like, okay, I can't look at someone else and want to be them. I've got to want to be me. I could get on here and tell you that you're perfect the way you are, and that your body was perfectly and wonderfully sculpted just for you, and that is the truth. But I'm a firm believer in that you can hear someone say something that you know is right and still not believe it. So I want to give you some facts. I want to give you some cold hard facts. I did a lot of research, and here are some facts that I found, and I'm going to, down in the more box, I'm going to put the link to the article that I found the most interesting and most relevant to what we're talking about today, and I encourage you to read it. And it also has a lot of pictures of how the ideal woman has changed over the last 100 years. So the point of sharing these facts with you is this. I don't want you to just believe me. I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to be able to spread that to others. I want you to find research, come to your own conclusion, and then be able to say, this is why I feel this way about body positivity, right? So here we go. Number one, I did not know that the average age to start being unhappy with your weight is 6 years old. Did you know this? 6 years old. I wasn't even aware of how much I weighed when I was 6 years old. So that's fact number one that blew my mind. Fact number two that blew my mind. The average weight difference between models and the average woman used to be a difference of 8% in 1975, meaning that if you were a model, there was only about 8% weight difference between you and the average woman. Now, the average weight difference between a model and the average woman is 23%. 23% difference, which blows my mind. It is truly setting up an image that skinny means happy, skinny means beautiful, and if you're the average woman, you're out of luck. That fact blew my mind too. Fact number three that blew my mind. A plus size model used to be a size 12 to 18 plus, right? That was considered a plus size model. A plus size model now is size 6 to 14. I was a size 6. Now these are US sizes, and if you live in another country, I highly suggest you Google and see what the comparison is for you, because I think it'll blow your mind. But I was a size 6 and 8 all through high school. I was athletic, I worked out a lot, I ate right. I wouldn't have considered myself plus size. I would consider that a very normal, healthy weight for someone who is athletic and doing those things. But for the world to tell you because you're a size 6, you're a plus size model, it sets a precedent that really makes me angry. That, like Mae West said, my favorite Mae West, cultivate your curves. They may be dangerous, but they won't be avoided. So I guess my final thing to say about the step one and stop comparing yourself to other people is this. Find somebody to really look up to based on their accomplishments and how they've handled adversity, not based on what they look like on Instagram. Like, we need to start caring and looking up to people that have some substance to them, and we need to stop looking at their body types and thinking that's who I want to be. So that finishes out number one. Sorry, Mom and Dad.